Craig, is this Marca trying their best to distract us? It's not really Marca as such, Scotty, no. The Athletic, as an example, wrote a piece today saying that Trent Alexander-Arnold is their priority. Trent Alexander-Arnold is their number one target at right back, and that's not Marca, that's not AS, that's the Athletic. So now it is the Madrid correspondent at the Athletic, so he is probably very focused on Madrid news, which is no surprise. But I don't know where we're at with all of this. I really don't. But here's something that we posted earlier on, and it comes in from who's this dude? J. Felix Diaz, who said Liverpool are beginning to accept that Trent Alexander-Arnold will not renew his contract. And this has been the theme of the day today. Lots of vague little stuff around Trent. Fabrizio Romano's gone a little bit different. He said Trent remains one of the options monitored by Real Madrid as revealed in March. Now, this winds me up a bit because Romano likes to play every side of the fence here. He said Trent's priority is to stay with Liverpool in one moment, and now of course he wants to make sure that he gets the coverage and glory and pats on the back if it goes the other way. So now he's saying, as revealed in March, they're looking at Trent. Which one is it, Romano? Which one is it? Does he want to stay at Liverpool? Is that his priority? Or does he want to go to Spain and play for Real Madrid? Too many of these journalists are trying to say play both sides of the fence here. And once again, it's us Liverpool fans who are left scrambling around trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Now look, there is no upside to this. And if Trent Alexander-Arnold does leave, I fear it's going to cause a big divide in our fan base. And I fear it can get quite messy and toxic. And there's no need for it to have gotten to this point. I've said this time and time and time again. There is no rhyme, reason, or justification for Trent getting to this point and the club not have sorted it out. Whether you think maybe the club couldn't give him an offer because he wasn't willing to listen to an offer yet, or whether you think Liverpool just took their eye off the ball. Either way, this is a mess. And here's the thing that I don't see spoken about enough. So we'll all come on tonight and we'll have our say about what we think is going to happen with Trent, what we think is going to happen with Mo, what we think is going to happen with Virgil. You might think one thing, I might think something else, somebody else might think something completely different. But here's what I hope we can all agree on. This is a distraction. This is unnecessary, this is a distraction, and it's going to filter into the dressing room, and it's going to seep through, and it's going to take away the good work that Arne Slot has done so far. And I've said this for a long time. I've always said this. When these international breaks roll around, you're going to see the ante being up. You're going to see the stories become more prominent. It's quite frankly disgusting that we're in this point. And the distraction is my biggest concern about it all. Because if we lose them next season, we'll deal with that, and we'll have to deal with that in due course. But right now, we're in a good position. We've had a good start to the season. Everybody should be pulling in the same direction. And I don't want this to become a bigger issue than it already is. So again, you're going to ask the question, what is going on at the club? Why are we not getting anything? Like, it's all very well and good getting Kwanzaa signed up, getting Trey Leone signed up. That's brilliant. It's all very well and good hearing that it looks like Canade's conversations are going in the right direction. That's great. But there's 3 more pressing concerns that Liverpool fans want answer to, and want answers to very quickly. 10 weeks from now, ladies and gentlemen, 10 weeks from now, these players will be able to negotiate and sign pre-contract agreements with clubs outside of the Premier League, and technically they wouldn't even have to tell Liverpool about it. That's how dangerous this situation is becoming. And as every hour, every day, every week that goes by, Real Madrid are going to become more ballsy, and the players are probably going to come a little bit more disenfranchised with how Liverpool have left it this long to try and sort out their futures. It's just shocking. Poor, not good enough. And again, I see people trying to defend the owners on this. I've been on the Athletic comment section, and once again people are like, oh well, it's no biggie if he leaves, we'll replace him. Are you mad? Are you absolutely fucking mad? It is shocking if he's allowed to leave for free. We can talk about the Michael Owens, the Steve McManamans of this world. One big difference between when those guys left and now is that Liverpool have had success. Liverpool have been at the top of the mountain in recent years. We've won a European Cup. We've won a Premier League title. And our owners have allowed this situation to develop by taking their eye off the ball. So I don't want to hear from any FSG supporters or apologists on this one, because there is no glossing over it. They shit the bed massively, and we're all going to suffer for it. Because if Trent leaves for free, it's going to cost us a ton of money to replace him. And I don't have faith in these owners that they'll do that. So tonight we're going to try and figure out where we are with all of this. But I have a couple of super chats to run through first. So for me, Craig, Mo Salah and VVD will stay and Trent will leave. But I would love all three to stay. That's where Stevie Boy's at. Corbin, 2003, said, do you think Jude is getting in his ear? Yeah, probably. But I would say it this way. Look, yes, we can make that conversation point about Jude getting in his ear. But we also thought that we could get Trent and Hendo in Jude's ear. And that didn't work out the way we Liverpool fans wanted. So I don't know what's going to tilt Trent in one direction or the other here. I really don't. And I don't want to second guess Trent's thought processes. All I can say from the outside is, as a Liverpool fan, the idea of losing a player at the peak of his powers, at 26, a local boy who said himself that he wants to captain the club, the idea of losing him for free, somebody needs to be fired for that. I'm sorry, somebody needs to be fired. That is unacceptable. It's not Richard Hughes' fault. He inherited the situation. But the club have known for a long time that Trent's contract was running down. And this is where we are now at. We are staring down the barrel of losing. I think the common consensus is we're probably going to lose one. You know, whatever you think. You've seen Stevie Boy said he thinks that we'll lose Trent. We'll keep Salah and Virg. Other people feel differently. But very few people I've spoken to are confident that all three will get done. And again, my confidence wanes even further when I say that I don't believe and I don't trust these owners to give the manager the tools and the finances to go out there and adequately replace them. Or all of them, or one of them, or how many of them. So look, I'm going to read you through where we're at today and we'll go from there. So we'll start off with team talk. Potentially brilliant news to slot. Sources have confirmed to us that the Merseysiders are confident and calm about retaining defenders Virgil van Dijk and Trent Alexander-Arnold, the latter of whom has been linked with a move to Real Madrid. Los Blancos are targeting the 26-year-old next year and have made the England international's entourage aware of this interest. But the Merseyside team view their academy product as a future captain and do not want to sell him and are prepared to offer him a deal well beyond his current £180,000 a week arrangement. Then they go on to say, our sources suggest that talks between the club and Van Dijk, who is considered extremely important at the Reds, will happen over the next few weeks, and although Alexander-Arnold is flattered by Madrid's interest, his heart is with Liverpool and a contract development is likely to take place. Here's the kicker. However, as we have previously revealed, Salah is expected to see out his contract and leave as a free agent at the end of the season. So that's what Team Talk have had to say on it. Now, I would say again, massive pinch of salt there with regards to Team Talk. But so that's one angle where they say Virgil and Trent likely to stay, Mohamed Salah very likely to go. So let's move on to a different angle here and we'll look at it from another side. This piece here coming in from at Relevo said Real Madrid continue to work on Trent Alexander-Arnold signing. There have always been contacts with the players' camp. While there is minimum chance that he moves in January, some prefer not to rule that out as it would be for a reasonable price. Now, let me say this categorically. Liverpool Football Club will not sell Trent Alexander-Arnold in January. It isn't going to happen, so I don't know how they're pulling out the reasonable price tag out their backside. There is no value to Liverpool selling Trent in January. 10, 15 million quid isn't going to be potentially worth the loss to the rest of this season if Trent wasn't around. So I think that's one we can absolutely put to bed. Not going to happen in January. But more and more stuff are coming out today to suggest that Trent is maybe leaning in that direction, maybe going to Real Madrid. We mentioned that story earlier on where it said Liverpool are beginning to accept that Trent Alexander-Arnold will not renew, and that story's coming in from Spain as well. Again, we had The Athletic talking about them ramping up their interest in Trent Alexander-Arnold. And all of this, if nothing else, is a massive distraction, a massive headache, and something that Arne Slot quite simply does not need. I'm annoyed. I'm very, very annoyed. I'm not annoyed at Trent. I haven't gotten to the point where I'm annoyed at any player because that would be unfair of me guessing about what these players want to do. So for me, my anger and frustrations right now are aimed squarely at the club because they control this situation. Players are going to probably look after number one ultimately. It's their careers, it's their life, I understand it. But how am I, as a Liverpool fan, supposed to believe that owners who are cheap, owners who want to try and make every penny count, have let us get to a situation where, again, I'm going to try and guess figures here, but 200, 250, 300 million quid's worth of footballers are allowed to run their contracts down if they want to and leave for free. How am I supposed to square that off in my mind and think that these people know what they're at and that I'm able to trust these people with our football club? There's just no way, shape or reason that this can be put down to anything other than the owners and the club shitting the bed massively. It doesn't make any sense. And I think you're all right to be annoyed about it and frustrated about it and angry about it. And I see some people are already starting to turn on some of the players. And look, I'm not going to go that direction because... yes, of course I have my own views on how I would feel if each one of them or all of them or any one of them left. But I'll talk about them if and when the time comes. Right now, they're not signed off anywhere else yet. The table is still there. We still have an opportunity to go and get it sorted. So what are we waiting for? 10 weeks from today, 10 weeks, they could go, sign, and off they pop at the end of the summer. And once they sign that pre-contract, it's game over. But even once we let it get to the point where Madrid can get in Trent'S ear, or other clubs can get in Virgil's ear and Mo's ear, there's a lot of what I like to call guilt tripping going on here, in that we as Liverpool fans don't want to believe that these guys could ever see a future away from the club, particularly with Trent Alexander-Arnold. And that's a big leap to say that nothing can tempt him. The idea of going to the reigning European champions to play with Mbappe, Bellingham, Vinny Jr., Rodrigo, that has to appeal to a footballer. It has to, let's be honest. And if there is one club you may leave your boyhood club for, is probably going to be the biggest club in world football right now, which is Real Madrid. So, once again, I'm going to ask, how the fuck did FSG let this happen?